Hola! Good to be with you again. Yeah, I really have a good time doing this. And this is the fourth in the series about Kundalini, the Kundalini Awakening, the process of, so on. My name is Dino Delano, and back in 1977 I did have an awakening of that Kundalini, so it's been, 40 years. So I've had some experiences with it. All right, the last video I did, we talked about ego. And basically how ego is not your enemy. Ego is not something you're trying to get rid of. Ego is a filter. Ego is the color that you wear, all right? One of the reasons why I wore this colorful tie, besides I like it, but the color represents, in that sense, how we show our colors, what colors that we show to the world. That is ego. So ego can be a wonderful thing, a beautiful thing, or it can be something that is very detrimental, depending upon how we experience it and how we use it. Here's a poem, and this is a poem that I'm fairly well known for, but this poem is experiences out of my life. Now keep in mind, how I view these experiences has a lot to do with Kundalini, that vital force, that unifying energy. Because after looking at these experiences, I could see how those experiences were working to unify me. We were boys, not yet men, not yet prejudice, still with wonder, with that mental ability to fly without wings. He told me Jewish tales, a little bit about family and tradition. I went to his bar mitzvah and wore a yarmulke. Some part of me slipped past the part of who I thought I was, and I became a little Jewish. Lebanese, almost black skin. Ali and Muhammad told me about Khalil Gibran's books, the man who wrote The Prophet, how those books were burned in the square of Lebanon for being a heretic. I learned something of olive trees and the Quran, and my skin turned a little darker. I used to call him the Mex I Can. He was a local Denver poet, wrote poems like Why Am I So Brown? Men Cry, Pomophobic, and I learned something of how a poem could reach the heart, and mine did turn a little brown. She was Japanese, young and frail, grew up in an American prison camp when all slant eyes were suspect. Her family treated me like a friend. Our sex turned my skin a tint of yellow. He was black, born in New York, married to a white woman in the 50s. Imagine that. And our bunks sat next to each other in boot camp. I learned what it was like to be a black man married to a white woman, how they fell in love, how they were treated. And my ivory turned a bit ebony. We lived in teepees for a few short days. The nights were filled with drums that seemed to pulse with the rhythms of the stars. The sweat lodge fit tight like a glove. Tales of pain, alcoholism, hate, joy swam on the waves of heat. A part of my heritage reborn, and I was now a tint of red. He was Irish, must have swallowed the Blarney Stone, taught me a little bit about acting in theater, and my feet and tongue turned a little green. You see, I don't know what happened to me. Some part of me slipped past the part of who I thought I was, what group I was supposed to belong to. Maybe it was too much humanity, and I bled through my shell to become a part of every other skin. Kundalini is a unifying force, a unifying field of energy. It brings things together. People have psychosis. People have erratic experiences. People have crazy experiences. People have experiences where they feel like they're coming apart from Kundalini. But it is not the Kundalini that causes this. It is the beliefs that we have within us that are moving against that unifying field of energy. Back in probably 80, 81, 82, I began to get rheumatoid arthritis in my left knee particularly. What was that about? Well, one of the things I discovered, let me stop for a second here, because that energy or that force magnifies the blocks. It was magnifying these blocks that was in me being experienced as arthritis. I had rigid beliefs. Why did I have rigid beliefs? Because I had a lot of fears. I created and I held on to my beliefs because I was afraid. My beliefs gave me a sense of comfort, a sense of security. By releasing and letting go of those beliefs, I was able to let the energy move, and sure enough, the arthritis was magically healed. You see, Kundalini can be and is a healing force when we get those beliefs out of the way that are in that sense, in the way of it. All right, let me say it maybe in another way. Here, let me give you a process that you can look up, you can find. The process is called Gen-Sin Jiu-Jitsu. Gen-Sin Jiu-Jitsu. Gen-Sin Jiu-Jitsu of the type that I'm talking about is a method of touch. It is a method of touching various parts of the body and connecting the energies. Now, I'm not going to get into the process here. I'm just telling you about it because you can look it up. When I first started doing the process, which is maybe 6, 7 years ago, I had a dream of milking the cobra. Wow. Milking the cobra? What would that mean? That would mean taking the poison out of the energy. Realistically, it's more taking the poison out of my belief systems so the energy could move through freely and easily without disturbance. What causes the disturbance in that Kundalini process? What causes the disturbance in us is those beliefs that we have that are blocking, that are moving against that energy rather than flowing with it. That is why that if you study your beliefs, if you take a look at what you think, why you think that, why you believe that, not only will you allow that force to come through you, but you will heal many things in the process. All right. I will certainly post another one of these sometime in the near future. My book is on the net, which is a Seeker's Journal. And I am reproducing the book, by the way. And it is available now. And also it is available in an ebook. You can find that on my website, which is coolzenhealing.com. All right. It is good to have been with you once again. I really love doing this. And take care, and may, quote, the force be with you. All right. Take care. Dino Delano.